and welcome back to the Loud Lens, where the shots are sharp, the opinions are blunt, and we don't airbrush the truth, which is very poignant, if you'll understand, because we're talking about no filter, how Norway's Photoshop law is changing the game. Now, I'm your host, Khandie, aka Khandie Photography, a photographer, a visual storyteller, dare I say, and a professional BS caller when it comes to beauty standards. And you're going to hear that my voice is very different. I lost my voice because I was cheering for my friend in Oslo she entered a drag competition. So my voice is hopefully be back to normal on the next podcast, but I wanted to record this. So picture this, a country where literally it's illegal to post edited images for paid content without declaring it. Yep, if you snatch a waist, if you smooth a wrinkle or change the body in Photoshop, it has to be clearly labelled. And before you go, oh, that's fine, Khandie, this is not just photographers, it goes for influencers, advertisers, anyone cashing checks, making dollar or not, as it is in Norway, from an image. It's bold, it's different, and it is working. But what does that mean for the rest of us, the creators, the photographers, the people who live and work in visuals? And what does it mean for how we feel about our own bodies? So today's podcast is called No Filter, and trust me, we're keeping it raw, if nothing else, just because my throat is absolutely raw. What is the law? So it's not just a vibe shift, I mean it's actual law. In Norway, under an update to the Marketing Act that came into effect around 2021, anyone posting paid content online, so that's ads, brand deals, sponsored posts, must label if the image has been retouched in any way that alters the body's shape, size, or skin. Okay, think but waist snatching, muscle boosting, acne smoothing, even subtle stuff. If you've tweaked it, you've got to say it. And that applies especially to influencers because, yes, they are advertisers now. Welcome to the world. The label also has to be clear. They're not allowed to bury it in the hashtags. There's no hiding in a caption. Obvious, visible, and can't miss it. The goal, reduce the pressure that people, especially young people, feel to look like with something that isn't even real. And honestly, I have to say that's mad respect, especially for those content creators who have gone, yep, I was heavily airbrushed before. This is actually what I look like. So let's talk about the photography aspect because law isn't just about Instagram, okay, with their whitening apps. Oh, look at us, we've got sparkly teeth. It's about how we, the people behind the camera, create and reinforce beauty standards. So as I said, I was just in Oslo, which is where I've left my voice. And I walked through some galleries, flipped through some local magazines, and if you watch my latest YouTube video, which is a POV of me doing street photography, I do sort of show a little bit of this, but more, it's also in a reel on my own Instagram, which you can find me at Khandie Photo. And let me tell you, the shift is so real and obvious. First of all, there's a relaxed energy to the imagery. People and poses definitely feel softer. The lighting isn't trying to hide every pore, and you see texture, you see spots, you see stretch marks, you see human. I don't know how to describe it. You see humanity. You see the person. I don't know. It feels it's not sloppy by any chance. It doesn't feel unfinished. It feels incredibly intentional. And I did look at them for a while and I was like, huh? And the horrible thing is, and I know this is so like, yeah, when you're looking at the shop window, you can definitely see the ones that are not from Norway or Scandinavia, the ones that are heavily photoshopped. And the natural ones of Scandinavian photos, Norway, whatever, they make the ones from not there look worse. They look so AI generated. There was a picture of a pop star selling a perfume and she was utterly unmarked. Her skin had no texture, but the photo next to hers was of a young girl, two young women playing with perfume. One had a little spot, one had some acne. There was a bit of a messy eyebrow going on, which I just loved, by the way, and a small tattoo under the eye. And it looked so much better, but it made the airbrush one look worse and fake. So as a working photographer, I feel like this really changes the game. And this is particularly to Norwegian ones, because at the minute this is not in the UK, but we're going to come on to that in a bit. One of the things I did think about was what happens if you're a retoucher in Norway by trade? It must feel threatening, but isn't there a chance to pivot? Because trust me, authenticity sells. That's not to say the backgrounds aren't edited, but I feel like there's a way in which you can work. And there's some of the biggest brands I've already clocked on this. And if one of my latest reels on Instagram, actually, I show some of these big brands. So let's talk about some of the brands. So let's kick it off with one that did the real campaign, so say the real beauty campaign, which is Dove, which went everywhere around the UK. There was no airbrushing, no BS, just women of every size, age, background, and completely untouched. They even created a hashtag no digital distortion mark to show that the image had been edited. Dove was saying no thanks to fake beauty before it was even a trend. Then came, I think it's called Ariel Reel, Aerie, with Ariel Reel. They dropped Photoshop in 2015 2014, they kept the stretch marks, they kept the rolls, they kept it. It's actually the results. Their sales went up. And what one of the quotes from them was, turns out unretouched skin doesn't kill conversions, it builds trust. Yeah, you might also know about the brand ASOS, as seen on screen. They followed suit, showing photos with visible stretch marks and real skin texture. You know those clean background shots, right? They started actually showing real bodies in them, and it became a concept. There was a jewelry brand called Majuri, I think it was called. They did the Golden Together campaign, natural lighting, no retouch, and no filters, just real people in their real ones. And even Adidas got in on this with their Support is Everything bra campaign. They showed 43 pairs of real boobs, scars, stretch marks, shapes, nipples, all that. And Instagram literally pulled the ad down for nudity, and Adidas stood by it. We believe women's bodies deserve respect, not censorship. But the one that I always find a bit funny is Skims, Kim Kardashian, yeah? Kim Kardashian, who is pretty much famous for having an immaculate image, always perfect. Her brand had leaned into a more aesthetic realness lately, untouched plus size models, natural lines, real curves. And coming from her, I can't, it feels gimmicky, I'm gonna say it does, but I'm hoping I'm wrong. So while some brands are shifting, they're not all. But what does that do for us? What does that do for us, Khandie? I mean, when the people are scrolling through these photos, what are they seeing? Are they comparing themselves? Are they absorbing? As a photographer, I have retouched images. Am I responsible for it? It's a huge question. I'd love to debate this in the comments with you. We're living in a time where you can't open your phone without seeing a perfect somebody, be it flawless skin, the most amazing eyebrows, muscles, you name it, and even a face that you go, I'm sure that's AI. So, how is anyone meant to know if this is real? So, Norway's law was a direct response to that pressure. Research showed that altered imagery, especially when it was not disclosed, was damaging the mental health of teens. Girls and boys started developing eating disorders, depression, body dysmorphia, the list goes on. And I've even had clients come to me already insecure about their look, even before I've even taken a picture. Why? Because they feel they need to match an impossible standard. We've got 50-year-olds thinking they need to look like 20-year-olds, and it's just maddening. The law doesn't fix everything though, but it is a start, and it's saying you deserve to know when something is fake. And when people know that, they can stop chasing a fantasy and start appreciating their own reality. You can't Photoshop your way out of the mental health damage, but Norway is definitely trying. So it got me thinking, will this spread? Is it just a Norway thing? Maybe not. France has similar legislation and the UK are talking about it. Even platforms like TikTok and Instagram are looking at ways in which they can label AI altered or edited content. We're seeing more people demanding honesty, and people are calling out bad retouching, celebrating natural bodies, and unfollowing the fake. Visual literacy is rising, and in a digital world, I'm going to say it, that's revolutionary, my darling. What can photographers and creatives do? I mean, what can we do? I mean, we are technically part of the problem, dare I say it. If a photographer or content creator is here listening to this podcast, I want you to think, have I overdone it and created a false image of somebody? Because we need to be more intentional. Am I editing this with purpose? Is there a genuine reason? Am I enhancing a picture, or am I reinforcing something toxic? Talk to your clients, tell them about this shift. Let them know they don't have to be filtered to be beautiful. And look, I'm not saying never retouch again, but let's be transparent and keep it real. Let texture live and breathe in our pictures. Let the body be what the body is. Authenticity shouldn't be a trend. It should be a survival tool, surely. Now, I recently went to, as I've said, hence why my voice is gone, and I did a photo shoot where I had the intention that I would not retouch the skin. I'd retouch the background slightly. I would add my own grading onto it, but I didn't want to retouch the skin. Luckily for me, my model had beautiful skin. Yes, there's a few little texture points there, but honestly, why is texture a bad thing? Texture exists on the face. I don't understand why we suddenly can't have visible pores. We all have it. When I talk to my friends, I can see their pores. Why can't I have that in my photos? And it's because social media has said to us, and the engagement that people have with these images, that we must reduce it. We must make ourselves look less human. It's maddening. So I did this shoot, and I say you can see it on my Instagram at the moment at Khandie Photo, and they are beautiful. Do they look unretouched? No, I'm blessed with a beautiful model. But would I do more of this? Yes, I'm going back to Norway, and I'm actually going to try and do a lot more of these and avoid the skin retouch. And you know what? It means I'm going to be a better photographer because one, I have to make sure the light's good. Excuse me. 2, I need to make sure the poses are good. And 3, I need to make sure I'm conveying what I'm doing to my model more. There aren't any second chances on this. I can't just go, oh, fix that in Photoshop because I'm not going to. But I do want to iterate this law in Norway. It's not about being anti-beauty. It's about being anti-BS. It's a wake-up call to their industry that's been playing dress up with reality for far too long. And me, as a photographer who's worked with hundreds of clients of all shapes, backgrounds, and walks of life, I'm telling you, the best photos are the ones that actually breathe, the ones that feel real, the real skin, the real bodies, and the confidence that comes with that. That's the shot I want to take. So I'm going to make an active choice here that yes, I'm going to do retouch, and yes, I'm going to continue to do what I do, but I am going to do it with conscious ethics. I am going to talk about it more. I do work with a retouch company. I do work with that and I use it, but I've started to see that I'm pulling it back because I feel that the more the person looks like themselves after a good night's sleep and fresh skin is better than making them look 20 years younger and lying, because that just makes them get up in the morning, look in the mirror and realize they don't look like that. And I don't want to be about that life. I don't. Anyway, thanks for tuning into the Loud Lens with me, Khandie, aka Khandie Photography. I am going to say I'm really sorry if this was really hard to listen to because of my voice. If this episode has sparked something and it made you think, or you have some stories of your own, slide into my DMs. Tag me, I want to hear it. And remember, you're not a Photoshop project. You are a whole damn piece of art, my darlings. And until next time, keep the lens loud. I have no idea what that means. And keep your eyes honest. And hopefully in the next podcast, I will have my voice back. But I'm not holding out hope because I seem to forget the point where I should be resting.